Let's tackle one of the biggest scare tactics the federalists are throwing at Albertans who are done with Ottawa's endless meddling. What about your Canadian passport if Alberta becomes independent? You'll be stuck. You'll be a second-class citizen. Game over.
The next day, Ottawa cancels your Canadian passport. Good luck getting to the United States.
No, we won't be your citizens anymore, that's the whole point. And this is classic fear-mongering deciding to keep you on the fence. So let's debunk it with real facts, real-world examples, and a dose of reality about why that little booklet isn't the golden ticket it's cracked up to be anymore. And spoiler, independence doesn't mean you lose travel freedom, it means Albertans take control of their own destiny, and that's a win. So stick around because by the end, you'll be seeing why staying in this dysfunctional marriage is the real risk. However, before we go any further, and because you're already here, please don't forget to hit subscribe because it really helps us out. First, let's call it what it is. Federalists and their media buddies love this one. You won't be Canadian anymore, no more passport. And they're banking on your fear of the unknown to stop you from imagining a freer Alberta.
Imagine giving up your passport and saying, I'm no longer a Canadian. The very thought of that brings tears to my eyes.
But here's the truth. Citizenship and passports in independent scenarios are negotiated, not magically revoked. Canada already allows dual citizenship. Millions in this case of Canadians hold passports from other countries right now. Natural-born citizenship is incredibly hard to strip away, even if Canada gets really angry about losing its cash cow. Legal experts on both sides admit it would require negotiations, borders, trade, pensions, and citizenship. Alberta wouldn't just wake up one day with everyone stateless. That's not how civilized divorces work, and there's real-world examples. Look at the Velvet divorce. Czechoslovakia split peacefully into the Czech Republic and Slovakia in 1993. Citizens sorted out passports and dual options without chaos. People kept their mobility. The forever Canadians want you to believe Alberta gets zero say. I say bull. In real independence processes, referendum negotiations, Alberta's leverage is massive. Energy, resources, economic power. Ottawa actually needs Alberta more than Alberta needs their bureaucracy. This passport panic is manipulation, pure and simple. It's aimed at the fence-sitters. Don't rock the boat. Meanwhile, the boat is sinking under equalization payments, carbon taxes, and policies that treat Alberta like an ATM for the rest of the country. So let's get practical. If Alberta votes to leave, number one, you'll likely keep your Canadian citizenship forever, or at least initially, or at least a strong path to dual citizenship. Precedent already exists. Experts say there might be no automatic entitlement, but consent and negotiation are key. Canada doesn't yank passports away from dual citizens today, so why start with millions of productive Albertans who are already natural-born Canadian citizens? Number two, the new Alberta passport was shiny, independent, representing a resource-rich, freedom-focused nation, and many countries would roll out the red carpet for a stable, wealthy democracy that actually produces things. And number three, with the travel reality, you would have options. The dual would be the best of both worlds, but even if purely Alberta, new nations get recognition and visa agreements fast, especially with allies. Think how quickly places recognize economic powerhouses. This isn't radical, this is what happens when adults divorce. You divide your assets fairly, you agree on kids, in this case the citizens, and then move on. Alberta brings the wealth, we negotiate from strength. The fearmongers ignore that staying in Canada means your Canadian passport is already getting less and less impressive. As much as the Canadians want to continue to live in the delusion that they're in the same Canada as 30 years ago, let's bring it back to reality. The Canadian passport used to be top tier, but now it's slipping. The Henley Passport Index shows it's dropping spots over the decade, one of the biggest losers while others climb. Visa-free access is strong, but quickly eroding due to policy messes and reputational hits. And here's a real-world embarrassment. Thailand, for example, reportedly tightening rules on Canadians, ending easy visa-free stays, partly over bad tourist behavior, including reports of some, let's call them new Canadians, defecating on beaches, just like they increasingly do in Canada as well. Yeah, that's the brand we're exporting now. Sorry, nature called and we were never assimilated not to do that. Other countries notice when Canadian policies signal weakness or when Canadian tourists under a Canadian passport start looking and behaving differently. Add in strained relations with historic allies, visa hassles elsewhere, and federal government more and more focused on virtue signaling than strong diplomacy. Your Canadian passport's power comes from the country's reputation and clout, and when Ottawa prioritizes everything except their allies, strong trade and resource productivity, that clout quickly fades.
Important to note, though, that Canada is further behind than Mexico. We have not started any of our formal talks. These have so far just been informal talks with our American counterparts, whereas if you look at Mexico, 2 rounds at least of formal talks have already started.
And let's be honest, most are only proud of their Canadian passport because of the easy access it gives to the United States, even if they say they hate it so much. Well, that may be fading soon as well as Canada continues to open doors to anyone with less and less strict background checks. The US is reconsidering its relationship with Canada and seeing less and less benefits as Canada's internal and external policy strays ever further from the Western principles that built it. An independent Alberta, we could forge our own deals, pro-energy, pro-trade, pro-sovereignty, and not just with the powerhouse that is the United States, but with the entire Shield of the Americas further down the continent. A passport backed by fiscal responsibility, not endless deficits and apologies. Stronger border with a better economy would equal more respect abroad, no more being lumped in with the managed decline that is the current federal plan for Canada. Staying means more of the same, your taxes subsidizing provinces that block your pipelines while demanding your money. Net contributor Alberta gets punished for success, as happens usually in socialist countries. Equalization, outflows, regulatory help, policies that make no sense, and ignored votes and voices in Ottawa. But with independence, you control your resources, you cut your waste, you attract talent and investment with sane policies, you lower taxes, you become an energy powerhouse with status, an actual democracy reflecting Alberta's values and not Toronto's or Montreal's. The passport fear is the last card they play because the economic and the freedom arguments for leaving are winning, and they don't know what to do about it. It's not about hating Canada, a little bit. It's about recognizing the Federation is broken for us. Better a strong, independent neighbor than a resentful, milked province. Real Albertans, workers, families, entrepreneurs that thrive when free. History shows breakups like Czech and Slovakia led to prosperity for both sides when done right. And we can do that too. So don't let the passport boogeyman scare you. It's negotiable, manageable, and frankly, the least of our worries compared to staying trapped in a one-sided deal. Alberta independence isn't losing your identity. It's claiming a better one and safeguarding the real values that the rest of the country has destroyed and continues to destroy. More options, more freedom, more prosperity. Your future, your own opportunities don't have to be decided by politicians 3,000 kilometers away who couldn't find red deer on a map. If you're on the fence, research the real numbers, talk to friends, vote with your eyes open. Don't let arguments made to capitalize on your fear of the unknown stop you from seeing the better future ahead. But before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it really does help us out, and let me know in the comments, what does freedom mean to you? Also, you can join us live nightly at 5 p.m.